I guess the obvious question, how did this project come about for you? I know it's based on Brian Garfield's book, right?
Yes.
Same author as Death Wish. So how did you find out about all this?
Well, I came across the script a while ago when I was in the middle of Dead Silence. One of the reasons why I was attracted to this particular project is because I've been a big fan of revenge films for a long time. I love the revenge genre, and I've met a lot of people that have said the same thing as well, that they love revenge films. But having said that, I wanted to make a revenge film that was like a tribute to the great '70s movies, right? But yet different, This is definitely a bit different as well. This is definitely unique in its own right. This is a story about a father, an everyday man, whom witnesses his son getting killed right before his eyes, right? And he's just stunned by this tragedy, and because he's clouded by his anger, and he decides to go after the bad guys. Okay, he decided to go after the bad guys, and here's where the twist comes in. He finds out that revenge cuts both ways, and now he's got the rest of the gangs, the bad people, coming after him and the rest of his family.
With working with James Wan in this film, I was really excited at the beginning of it because I'd seen the first song and the grittiness and the darkness to the film, and I thought that was going to affect this film greatly, in the way it was shot and stylized and the grit of it all. And within James's directing, abilities, he handles it just fine. He's got a creative eye to him, and he's very easy to work with. And basically, as a director, he's very open. I mean, for me, he even allowed me to rewrite a scene and just give it to the other guys because I felt that it could be put in a more relevant way. It could be, well, anyways, but he allowed me to sort of try different things, just improvising some scenes in where no dialogue was written down, and some of that stuff worked and some of it didn't, but he was open to it and wanted to see what he could get within every scene, and it just helps, There wasn't any stipulations or any guidelines or any rules by any means filming this.
It's horrifying for the very reason because it's relatable. It's, I think, this is, I guess, the most realistic film that I've made. And no, it does not have puppets in it. But yeah, I think that's what makes it really scary, is because even though it's not a horror film, it's about an everyday man, a family person, like everyone can relate to this character. If you're a mom and a dad, you want to see this film as well because you're like, you think to yourself, what would I do if that was me? And a lot of the horrifying aspect comes from that, and I guess, if you're a younger audience, you enjoy, that the drama aspect, but I think you'll love the action stuff as well, which is really cool in this film.
Now, let's talk about Kevin Bacon a bit here. Back in the day, he was the young guy who had a lot of success early on. Did he give you any advice about, where you're at this point in your career and how to kind of handle things from here on out?
No, not really. Maybe he just didn't like me. I don't, but no, not really. But maybe in some scenes when I'd finished up and he would sort of give me a little nod sometimes, and like a nod of approval, and I think that's all I'd really needed. Yeah. And sometimes I'd even look to him for it after a scene that, I thought was a crucial part of the film. He would come down and watch those sometimes, and I would kind of look over for his approval sometimes by the monitor, and he'd just give a little, and I was fine. That's all I needed.
Well, firstly, I think Kevin Bacon's one of the greatest actors out there. I think he's such a versatile actor, and that's what the role for this film needed. I needed someone who can play, good. Like a good guy, an average man, right? But at the same time, play the dark, brooding character as well. And, and Kevin's done, he's made so many films, he's played so many different characters, and he was the perfect guy for this. I needed someone who can, start off one way and end up a different way by the end of the movie.